Hello, and welcome to Knit All the Yarn podcast. My name is Lisa, and I live in Michigan with my husband and my two girls. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as 72 Stitches. And this is episode 91. Got my coffee, pumpkin spice creamer, and it's Scrappy Sunday. And today is Sunday, March 7th, 2021. This is a podcast about knitting, sometimes crochet, and maybe cross stitch, whatever crafty thing I'm up to. If you are new, welcome, and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. You can find all the show notes right down there. I'll have links to my Instagram, my Ravelry group, patterns, yarn, bag shops, all that good stuff right down there. All right, I think that's my spiel. Yep. All right, I have a lot of stuff to show you guys. Some new stuff, some old stuff. I have a vintage whip to show you. Wow. All right, so I finished objects and works in progress. And I have just a little bit of stash. Just a little bit. All right, let me get one more sip of coffee and we get started. Yeah, I have 3 finished objects and 5 whips. So this might be a long one. All right, first finished object. This one's kind of a cheater finished object because I didn't, a couple weeks ago I showed, I got some, yeah, just give me a second. My brain's not clicking. I got a gift from Aquilla from the Lefty Knitter podcast. She dyed some yarn and she cranked a tube. And she did the cuff and the heels, and then she just did a really long foot. So then I had to pick back and just put my toes in. So really I only knit the toes, but I'm counting these as finished socks. Ah, look at these. Excuse me. So she has a sock machine, so she cranked the big tube, and she did the folded cuff, and she put the heel in. So all I had to do was put the toe in. I love how that pulled. She just played around with some dye. She didn't really name this colorway. Yeah. It's awesome. I love the heel. Alright, so that is finished object number 1. Yes, it was very satisfying to just put toes in and have a whole pair of socks. Yes. Alright, this finished object you did not even see as a whip. These are my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. I cast them on March 1st and I finished them March 5th. Look at these. And this is X-Files. So these are my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks for March. Decided to pick green. Now these ones, they did turn my hands black. I didn't have any green, but they did turn my hands a little black. Not bad, but oh well. I think next month I will pick out a lighter color that doesn't have black in it. I'm pretty sure every pair that I've knit so far has black in it, so maybe I'll try to pick one that doesn't have black or blue and see what happens. That's okay. It doesn't permanently dye my hands. It comes off usually after a few washes. So yeah, these are for me. 64 stitches, 12 rows of 2x2 rib. And I knit these on Chiaogoo's red lace, 2.5 millimeter, which is a US 1.5. So yeah, if you saw me on Instagram, you saw that I finished these, and then I did work on them. I just didn't. I feel like it's like, hey, you didn't see it, but here's a pair of socks. I didn't cheat, honest. I really did knit them by hand. I did not do them on a machine. All right, this is the last time you're going to see this. I know I probably bored you guys enough with this thing, but I blocked it, and I'm so glad I did. You guys that told me you better block it, I would block it, and it looks so much better. Oh my. This is my paint pan cowl. I showed it. I had it all, the knitting done last episode. I just had to block it and sew it together, so it is a tube. I'll put it on for you guys. I did the repeat 4 times, so it's 12 colors each chart repeat. So 48 colors. I did not repeat any of the colors. Oh, look at that. It's so nice. And the background, the gray, is Knitpicks Stroll Cobblestone Heather. Yeah, I didn't really change the pattern. I just knit the repeat chart, or the chart 4 times. And yes, I blocked it. It took like 3 days for it to dry, but it was so satisfying to look at on the floor, all pinned out. I did take a picture of it on Instagram, but it's beautiful. I love it, and I will be making more of these. At least one more for right now. All right, maybe I'll just leave it on for a little bit until I get too hot. And that is all of my finished objects. I think I did this on a US 6. Whatever the pattern said, I did not change my needles. Yeah, you just knit in the round. It's a very, very easy color work chart. Yes, I messed up some of the squares. I could have fixed it, but I didn't. You can't tell. Like, maybe this is a mess up. Not positive. But yeah, that is that. That is... Oh, I got my hooded sweatshirt on. It's choking me. All right, there we go. That is all my finished objects. Are you ready for whips? Ready for whips or works in progress. This is my bag that my friend Amie made for me. This one has got a little bit work done. Not a ton because I was doing my other socks. So now I'm going back and finishing these. This is Knitpicks Felici, Vampire Vibes. And I bought this in summer 2020. I don't think it's in the website now. Pretty sure it's not. I have a kind of hoe. Look at that. I have a sock tube with a cuff and a toe. I have to put the heel in. The white markers is where I'm going to put my heel. These markers are counting my rows, 10 rows per marker, so that when I make the second sock, they are the same. So yeah. I'm doing the cuff, heels, and toes in Knitpicks Stroll Dove Heather. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I got my second sock here. Second sock has been cast on. Not that much work done. I got a cuff in 6 rows. Yeah, about 6 rows. I'm using Chiaogoo red lace, 2.5 millimeter needles, which is a US 1.5, 32-inch cord, because I'm doing one sock at a time. What else? 64 stitches. These are a birthday gift for my friend, Amie. So I did 15 rows of 2x2 rib. She likes a little longer cuff. Yeah. That's it. So I should have no problems finishing these by next week. But I got a lot of whips going on and I might get sidetracked. I think I can do it. Alright, that is whip number 1. Coffee time. Because this one's going to have a lot to talk about. This is my vintage whip. Now, if you've been watching for a long time, you probably have seen this. But I cast this on February 2020. This was my cheer myself up cast on because of my cat that passed away. And then COVID started and I could not handle it. My brain could not handle it. So I put it away. And I was chatting with my friend Amie and she's like, "Hey, what about that scarf, the Harry Potter scarf that you knit? We're working on. Whatever happened to that whip?" Well, it got put in timeout. So this is the book where the pattern is in. And let's see. I really like this book, but man, it's heavy. Let's see if I can show you what the scarf looks like without showing the pattern. There is the scarf. It's got fringe. I don't know if you can see that, kinda. So that is the scarf. It is called a Wizarding Transportation Scarf. Did I write that? Kinda wizarding. Let me update my show notes. Okay, so that is what it looks like. And I am using Cascade 220 because that's what I had. I wanted to cast this on right away. I didn't want to buy yarn, and I had enough. This is a worsted weight pattern. I gotta rearrange my needles here. And what am I using? I am using Bamboo Clovers US 8. I believe that was what the pattern called for. And then I was like, another reason why I put it away is because it's too lumpy. I don't think it looks good, in my opinion. But after I blocked this, I'm like, wait a second. I think blocking will fix this. And now I have blocking stuff. So I am determined to finish this. So I set a timer on my phone for 30 minutes, and then I just knit. And that's it for the day. I'm going to try to do 30 minutes every weekday. Sometimes 45, we'll see. Depends on how I feel and whatever things I have going on. So I'll stop yakking and I'll show it to you. Show us the scarf. You see how it's all lumpy? I think blocking will fix it. I hope. I don't know. We'll see. So this is where I was before the last time I showed you. I had the whole night bus section done. So I put my and I completely forgot about this stitch marker. When I got this whip out, I'm like, whoa, that's where that is. So I did all of this week. Those are brooms, and they are lumpy. But, yep, I finished the whole broom repeat, or chart, and I'm starting, this is probably my favorite one. So I'm hoping to have, you saw it in the patterns, the 9 3/4 symbol. So I'm hoping to have that done this week. If I can do a chart a week, that night bus one's pretty big though. I have to do those three charts 3 times, and then the last one I have to end with the night bus. And then I just block it, and when I put my fringe on, that will close these together, or I will sew it and then put my fringe on. I don't know, I have to read the pattern, but I did not do provisional cast on, because you just sew these together. So the finishing of this is going to be easy peasy. It's just the knitting. It's a lot of knitting. And I thought I was catching my floats wrong. It's another reason why I stopped working on it. But yes, you are knitting it in the round, but you have to catch floats. Because there, as you can see, like with this night bus, there's a lot of, so like 20 or 50 stitches of all blue before you get to gray. Yeah, that's really lumpy. I don't like that, but blocking will fix it, right? So yeah, I brought this whip back out. I'm going to try, like I said, to do 30 minutes every weekday. And it'll hopefully be done by the end of the year. Well, it's 10 charts. 2 of them are done. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And I'll kind of show you what bag it's living in, because this is kind of ridiculous, but I think I need a new bag because it's like spilling out. This is a Doctor Who bag that my mom made me. So yeah, this is how it's sitting. It's spilling out. I need a bigger bag, but it's fine. It's fine. Alright. Oh, and I'm knitting that in the round. Did I say that? Using a 16-inch needle. Yes. So, yes, it was since I finished this colorwork cowl, my brain is still in the colorwork mode, and my muscle memory is still there, so I'm just going to keep on going. I think I stopped doing colorwork and I picked it up again, and my hands are like, what is this? What is this? Okay, this is a new whip. A new whip. I talked about last episode that I was thinking about making my kids sweaters for Christmas. And so I asked them, I'm like, if I made you a sweater, would you wear it? I let them pick out the colors. And they said yes. My youngest wore hers pretty much all winter. My oldest did not wear it that much, but I think that's because she didn't put it away properly, and she set it on a blanket that my cats that like to lay on, and there was like cat hair all over it. I don't know if I mentioned this. We had 2 cats. One passed away in 2018, and the other one 2020. And right after, the year after my last cat passed away, my oldest developed allergies to cats. So she put that sweater away on top of the cat where they lay all the time before we cleaned it up. And she put it on, and she just sneeze and sneeze and sneeze. So my oldest said, I think I can wear it now because there won't be cat hair on it. So I am making them sweaters for Christmas. And I think I'm going to do, I didn't even mention that. Before I even podcasted, I did make them sweaters. So you did not see them. That was before I podcasted. So I have knit sweaters before. It's not something that I gravitate towards. I've made myself one sweater. I don't wear it that much. So I just don't knit sweaters that often. All right. I am using Wool of the Andes. This is Columbine, an unfortunate name. It's reading more reddish. Yeah, it looks like it's like a grape. Kind of reminds me of like grape jelly. So yeah, after I podcast, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do that. I ordered the yarn, I think Tuesday, and it was here Friday. So I decided to cast on. I am doing the Tincan Knits Flax sweater. Flax, like how my printer did that, or my parents' printer. This is a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away. I measured my oldest, and last sweaters I made my kids. For my youngest, I did the 8 to 6 years, and my oldest the 8 to 10 years. This time, my youngest, I'm going to do the 8 to 10 years, and my oldest, I'm going to do the size small. She was like, her bust was like 29 inches, and the extra small is 31. And I want them to wear these a couple years before I have to make more. So they're going to be like a couple sizes too big, but they're going to grow into them. And I do plan to duplicate stitch. They're like a Weasley sweater. So one's going to have an N and one's going to have a C. I did do that. I did not do a very good job the first time. Mostly because I didn't have a pattern for the N and the C. I just kind of made one up. But inside this book, this Harry Potter book, there is charts, because there is a Weasley sweater in here. In the back right there. There is charts for every letter. And so I asked my oldest, because she's like, that one wasn't very good. That C that you did. And I'm like, thanks. So there's a C and an N. There's all the alphabets in there. But so my plan is, if it fits, because this is a 40 stitch, 40 row C up and down. And I think wide it's like 20 something, 30 something. So that is my plan. My other bookmark fell out. Alright. And part of stash, my youngest picked this color, which is Celestial. So I decided to knit my oldest sweater, her sweater first, because it's larger. So then the second one will go by easier, faster, because it's smaller. And this is what I have done. Yeah, that's looking more like a... Yeah, that's not the same color. This is a weird... It's looking like a... It's more red than it is in person. But, so I have the... I want to say the cuff. The collar. So, yeah. It's worsted weight. I'm doing what the pattern says. I'm using 6s and 8s. I did 6 for the collar here, and then I switched to 8s. I think the collar, the cuffs, and the bottom of the... What is that called? The bottom of the sweater? As you can tell, I don't knit sweaters very often. But I have knit this one a few times, and it's pretty easy. So, yeah. So I need to work on this. I have lots of stuff to work on, but I don't know how it's going to happen. We'll just keep on knitting, I guess. I only have, probably in a couple months, my blankets aren't going to be worked on, so then I'll have extra time. Or maybe I'll just put my blankets away. We'll see. Alright, that was whip number 3. Now, speaking of blankets, it's time to show the blankets. Gotta find, this is my Cozy Comfort Throw by Molly of a Homespun House. See, I'm using Chiaogoo's US 8 32-inch cord. I am using, where is it? Where to go? It's kind of small right now. This is Knitpicks Stroll Ash. I'm holding it double with Knitpicks Felici scraps that I bound up. Magic Knot Ball. So I made it to the next color. I didn't work on it that much because I was like, must finish Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. So there's my marker where I was last time. So I did one whole color. And oh, I love how this is striping. Look at this. I love it. Usually I work on this in the evenings. A couple evenings a week, a couple days. Depends on what I want to. There was a few nights where I worked on those DVD socks because I was like, must finish them. So yeah, this is what I got done. I love how this is pooling and striping and yeah, it's pretty much just a garter blanket. Knit, knit, knit. And it's, since I'm holding fingering double, it's like, it's squishy. DK weight. Alright, and the last blanket is my Cozy Memories. Oh, this skin's so big. Look at this. So big. I put 7 squares on this week. I'm still keeping up with that. I usually do 2 squares on Sundays, 2 squares on Monday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday I do 1 square. So let's see which squares that I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm trying to show the ones that I actually did this week. So I started with this purple one right here. And I did all those. Here's my strings. So I did this one, that blue one. I really love this one. These were just scraps, minis, swaps with friends. And this is the Cozy Memories. Coziest Memories by Kemper Ray. I didn't bring my needles this time because I've been showing those every week. I have the signature straights, US 2, 2.75 millimeter. I do 20 stitches by 20 stitches. I think that's the only modification I did. Yes, this is fingering weight. All sock yarn. Let's see if I can unfold it a little bit more. It's 25 squares across. I think I'm on row 13. Oh, look at this. It is huge. I love it. I hope that's a screenshot. Screenshot. So yeah, that is all of my whips. I need to rearrange my sweatshirt because the cobble's pushing it up. And, oh, I feel like I'm choking myself. There we go. Yes, that is everything. That is all the knitting. So the stash that I had was the sweater yarn. This one and this one. So this is part of stash. So I got sweater quantities of these, wool of the Andes. I knit their sweaters in their previous sweaters in this yarn and it was fine. They usually wear a long sleeve shirt underneath of it. And they didn't really complain about it being scratchy. So that was part of stash. And that doesn't count because that's a Christmas present. This one counts as stash. But I couldn't. I had to. So Desert Vista Dyeworks. She came out with a colorway called Rose and Zombody Jack, which is a Titanic reference. And I bought this in January. Like, it was really shortly after I watched that movie. I rewatched it. She came out with this, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to have it. So I'll just add this to my stash. Yes, it has black in it, so it's probably going to get all over my hands. That's okay. So I'm going to add that to my Desert Vista Dyeworks stash. And that's it. That's the only knitting thing or only stash. Just that one skein. All right, reading and watching real fast. I finished Catch-22. Meh. It was all right. Not the best book ever. I probably will not reread it. It was okay. I have not started a new book yet. I am thinking about going back to the Wayfarer series. That was, the first book was called A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, I think. So the third book in that series is called Record of a Spaceborne Few. I have that downloaded. I usually do audiobooks. I have that on my phone, so I think I'm going to start listening to that. Still reading A Thunderhead on my Kindle before I go to bed. Sometimes I read one chapter, sometimes two, sometimes 0. And watching pretty much the same thing. We're still watching Stargate SG-1 Season 2. We're still watching Battlestar Galactica Season 3. We plan on watching Star Wars Movie 9 today. Maybe. We'll see. And, this is the thing I'm excited about. So, I don't know if you know, I am a fan of The Walking Dead. I love that show. It is the best. And I got really sad because COVID happened and they couldn't film anymore. Their previous season got cut short because they didn't have time to edit everything. So I got an email on my phone. I purchased the season pass on iTunes because that's the only way I can watch it. If I want to watch it as everybody else is watching it. My dad really likes it and we like to talk about it. So I can either wait and get on Netflix a year or two later or buy it. So that is probably the only TV show that I will buy. So I bought a season pass last year for season 10. And I don't remember, was it like summertime? I don't remember. There was like, they stopped. No more new episodes right around COVID. And then like a few months later, I think maybe it was summertime, they're like, okay, you're going to have one more episode. And this is going to wrap up the season. So I'm like, okay. So I watched one episode and then I was kind of bummed. I'm like, well, that's it. There was just one. And then there was talk about no more episodes until 2022. And it made me sad because that's a long time. Then I got an email saying there's a new episode available. I'm like, well, that's weird. I'm like, it's probably just a trailer or something. And so I went to we have a Apple TV. And I went through there and I'm like, oh my word, there is an actual episode. So then I'm like looking up on the internet. I'm like, how many episodes? How many episodes are there? I got so excited. So then I text my dad. I'm like, Walking Dead is back. So there are 6 episodes. And then their final season. I don't know when it's going to start, but I think it's 2022. And that's it. That is the last. There will be no more. And that makes me sad. But I get it. Shows can't go on forever. 11 seasons is pretty good. So, yeah. The only bad thing is that usually, back in the past, when my kids went to school, my husband went to work, I would watch it while everybody was gone. Well, that can't happen, obviously, right now. So I have to tell my husband, I'm like, I'm taking over the TV because he won't watch it. He doesn't like it. So after the kids go to bed, my husband gets on the computer and I have the TV to watch my Walking Dead. All right, I gotta move. Oh, we're at 35 minutes. I gotta wrap this up. So yeah, that is reading and watching. I love The Walking Dead. Yes. And there's a new episode tonight. But this won't go up till Monday, so I hope you watched it. If not, go back and watch it. All right, life stuff. Let's see. Oh, I have some good news. I have some good life stuff news. My grandparents have both gotten their first shots of the vaccine. My parents got their first shots yesterday. That makes me so happy. I have not got mine yet. Yeah, my mom found a number and she called and said, "Hey, can I get put on your list?" And they're like, "You can come tomorrow." And my mom was like, "What? Tomorrow? Okay." So yeah, she called and got an appointment like the next day, which is awesome. And they have scheduled their next one, so everything is a-okay. Let's see, what else? Good life news. My grandpa. I mentioned this a long time ago. This was like a year ago, right around March. Found out my grandpa had prostate cancer, and I am happy to report that the cancer is gone for right now. So I don't know what kind of, if there was chemo involved or medication. Anyway, it is gone, so that is good. How old is he? I think he's really close to 90. Like maybe 88. Somewhere between 86. I'm pretty sure he's not 90 yet. Late 80s. So that was more good news that I got yesterday. Let's see. Some kind of not so good news. It's fine. It's not bad news. I mentioned in my last episode that we had to decide whether to keep my kids home for the rest of the school year or to send them back, and we decided to keep them home for their school year ends. Is it June 18th, I think? June 15th is their last day of school, somewhere around there. I decided to not rock the boat and mess up their schedule again. In fear of the numbers could go back up. They are kind of creeping up there, but yeah, the school says if their numbers get to a certain point, they're going to go back to virtual for the rest, or for a while until the numbers. And I don't want to say, "Here, go to school. Oh, you gotta stay home now. Go to school." And then I don't want to do that to them. They only have like 2 months left. Technically, they couldn't go back until after spring break. So they have April, May, and like 2 weeks of June. So why bother? And they're doing okay. They miss their friends, but they're still doing their work. They're not suffering. It's not keeping them from doing their work. They're doing their work. I let them talk and chat with their friends at the end of the day. So they're getting some social interaction with their friends. So that's the kind of meh news. But we have decided we can now breathe. And there goes my show notes. Cross my fingers. Oops. And my pen. Cross my fingers that maybe the fall will be better, but I have no idea. We'll just... Good vibes. Good vibes. What else? Oh, we're going to have a background change. So this is all of my stash. I have these really cheap Walmart plastic containers. I've had them for years and years, and I'm like, we're going to do an upgrade. So I went on, talked to my friend Amie, and she recommended a cube shelf unit. Yeah, so we're going to have boxes with cubes with yarn in them so you can see all of it. It's going to be glorious. It's supposed to come today. So I'm hoping it would be nice to have it all done by next Sunday. But my daughter, my youngest daughter, the computer is right over there. She does her school up here. So I can't really play around up here during the day because I don't want to mess up her, distract her from her meetings and everybody else. So I don't know. I'm hoping I'll come by lunchtime and maybe later this afternoon I can do it, but we will see. But yeah, there's going to be some, probably, I don't know if I'm going to have that. That's my Quarantine 20 cross stitch. So that's my granny story blanket. That wooden crate right there, my grandpa made that for me. And it has, this is the side of it, but on the, like, right over there, there's little drawers that pull out. And it has all my cross stitch floss in it. And then that is, Amie got that for me. It's my light bulb stitch marker case. I use that for my squares. I don't know if I mentioned that on my blanket. Pause. I put light bulb markers on every square that I do for a month, and then when I take them off and count them. So that's what that's for. So yes, I am happy. I'm going to have a new background. I don't know if you can see. This is like the ceiling in this upstairs, this is where I'm at, is like this. So it has really short walls and then the ceiling points. So right about here is where the ceiling starts to bend. So we will see how high I can have it. I would like to do 3 high. Do like either a 3x4 square or 3x3. I don't know. We'll see. But so excited to organize my stash. So that is it. That is everything. 42 minutes. Sorry if it seemed rushed. If I blabbered on too much. If you couldn't understand me, I'm sorry. My brain, my coffee didn't kick in yet. That was my first cup. All right. I guess I will end it here. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, put them right down there in the description box or the comment box. I do read them. I try to respond to them if they need responding. I always heart them. So if I heart them, you know that I read it. And hopefully I will see you next week. Bye.